These are 10 of the worst things Bart has ever done. Bart finds out that someone in school is allergic to peanuts, so he uses this information to make their life miserable. Please, Homer, don't hammer him. Starts with Marge getting a letter from Springfield Elementary saying someone at school has a life-threatening peanut allergy.
Cool. Who is it? Well, the letter doesn't say, but from now on, no peanut products are allowed on school property.
I bet Bart will use this information responsibly, and he won't threaten anybody, right? Since the school's no peanut policy is very strict, all kids must be searched for peanut-containing foods before they enter the building.
Why should we have to give up our salty snacks just to keep one allergic kid from exploding?
Don't look at Milhouse. The poor kid is allergic to everything but peanuts. Bart manages to trick Willie into telling him whose allergy is ruining everyone's school lunch.
So it's a dude.
Who says it's a dude? A principal can be a man or a woman these days.
Bart's detective work is impressive, but Willie's commitment to deflection deserves its own badge of honor. With this new knowledge, Bart is ready to torment Skinner like never before.
Bart, Skinner's gonna be really mad at you. Yes, you might say he'll blow up.
Clever, truly clever. Skinner catches Bart and sends him to detention, or at least he tries to.
I'm not a big fan of detention. You might say it drives me nuts.
My allergen!
Bart's escape plans are nuts, literally this time. Bart continues to bully Skinner in unimaginable ways, and the poor man has to take it, because if he doesn't, well, he'll die.
I'm a cootie eater. I've been one all my life. I like the cooties so much. I have a cootie wife.
Bart's taunts are so over the top, even Skinner's survival instincts are waving the white flag. But Skinner has had it with Bart's torment. He sneaks into the doctor's office to look over Bart's file to try and find his weakness, and he does.
I've got you now, Bart.
A grown man is stooping to a 10-year-old's level. Sad, really. The next day, Bart comes for yet another round of torment, but this time, Skinner is prepared.
You've been waving your nuts in my face for too long. Eat shrimp and die.
Looks like Skinner's had enough of Bart's nutty behavior. Time to shell out some revenge before he gets roasted.
Stick on stick, just like the knights of old.
No one teaches me history.
Skinner versus Bart, a historic duel for the ages. Their duel leads them to a Thai food factory where, conveniently enough, they make peanut shrimp, whatever that is.
Either of us falls in, we're doomed.
Kids don't die!
Nothing like a life or death duel to remind us. In Springfield, the kids are invincible, but adults better watch out for the peanut shrimp. Their childish fight leads them to their ultimate downfall. Now they look like they've been stung by a hive of bees.
I was El Barto.
The downfall of the mighty, I must admit, it's awfully entertaining to watch. Both of them end up in the hospital.
Young man, the next time you save your principal, try not to risk your own life.
Skinner can't believe his ears and yells at Bart to stop feeding lies to Marge. Leave it to Bart to turn a hospital bed into a battleground. Because even in recovery, the war of words never ends. They start throwing peanuts and shrimp at each other, and Marge is just through with his childish behavior.
I'm gonna go look at the new babies.
When life gives you peanuts and shrimp fights, Marge opts for the real bundle of joy, newborns over nonsense every time. Tormenting your principal is fine as long as it's playful, which this was not, but tormenting your parents is never fine, Bart. Bart causes problems in Homer and Marge's marriage, so he can get out of doing homework. Postcards from the Wedge starts with Bart's teacher Edna writing a letter to Homer and Marge about Bart not doing his homework on time. Bart, wanting to prevent Edna from mailing it, quickly comes up with a solution.
Gotta stop that letter.
Fire alarm! Wow, only years of practice could be responsible for that level of precision. But even though he tried like hell to prevent that letter from being mailed, he couldn't stop it. So on to phase 2. Bart rubs his ear until it's bloody red and calls Marge to check his fever. And what do you know, it works. But Marge ain't no fool.
And there's only one way to get a truly accurate reading. Bart, pants.
Just close your eyes and think of Milhouse.
Wow, Lisa throwing in a dirty joke. Kids sure do grow up fast. Marge checks his temperature, and what do you know? It's 103 on the dot.
How did you...
I don't want to talk about it.
That's one way to avoid a fever pitch situation. But even with this sacrifice, Bart couldn't stop Homer from finding the letter.
I tried really hard to stop you from finding out. Does that help?
A little!
Bart's honesty might not win him any medals, but at least he tried to make it a little less painful for Homer. Marge is worried about Bart's workload, and she thinks it will turn him off of school forever. But Homer disagrees.
Oh,
My, a child who doesn't enjoy school?
Homer's take on education, just another reason to question if he's ever read a parenting book. Or any book, really. Homer starts drilling Bart about school, but like any mother, Marge wants to make the experience as comfortable as she can.
But Dad said I had to finish.
Never mind what he said. You just listen to me.
Marge's parenting approach: block out Homer's advice and create a safe space for procrastination. This confuses Bart, and he talks to Lisa for advice. Lisa tells him that sometimes people who agree on most things have one issue that they disagree strongly about.
In politics, it's called a wedge issue.
Great way to make an interesting conversation into a history lesson, Lisa. Bart gets an impeccable idea to play Homer and Marge against each other so he can get out of doing homework.
You would mess up Mom and Dad's marriage just to get out of doing some homework?
Bart tells her that he'd go as far as to end all life on this earth to avoid doing homework. Bart's commitment to avoiding homework knows no bounds. He's willing to throw planetary destruction into the mix for a free night. Talk about dedication. Marge is so worried about Bart, she takes her wishes for Bart to a higher power.
Dear Lord, please give my stubborn husband the wisdom to see that I am right as usual.
Marge really knows how to keep her prayers efficient, straight to the point and with a touch of marital diplomacy. Homer and Marge get into a fight because Marge told Bart he could relax for a bit, but Homer thinks there's no time for relaxation until the work is done.
Don't contradict me in front of our son.
Well, don't be wrong in front of our son.
Classic Homer logic. If you're wrong, it's his job to point it out, especially in front of an audience. Just as things were starting to cool off between them, Bart causes yet another fight.
Congratulations. You're officially a sociopath. Hey, at least I'm on a path.
Bart's always got a comeback, even if it's not the one you'd expect from a kid who's probably one bad decision away from a full-fledged villain arc. Their fight continues throughout the day and things get really heated.
I don't mind if you pee in the shower, but only if you're taking a shower.
No freedom. I have no freedom around this house.
The age-old battle. Freedom versus hygiene. Who knew the shower would become the battleground for parental control? But every married couple fights, right? They'll be all better in the morning. They won't even remember what the fight was about.
Gotta stay mad. The next morning is where the fight is won or lost.
Freeze him out.
The silent treatment strategy. Classic. Nothing says we're solving this like playing emotional freeze tag. But Homer and Marge love each other too much to keep this up. They make peace and vow not to let Bart come between them again.
He's the reason we had to get married.
Till the two of us are back on track, Bart can fend for himself.
Nothing like a little marital teamwork to outsmart the kid. Bart's the only one who didn't sign up for the family unity package. So instead of freezing each other out, they decide to freeze Bart out.
I realized our marriage is more important than your future. From now on, you're on your own.
Yeah, leave your troubled kid to fend for himself. See how far that'll get you. Bart causes a seismic reaction when he and Milhouse drove an old subway train through Springfield, but Marge and Homer still didn't care for it. So he asks for advice from the one person who should never give out advice.
If no one's getting mad, are you really being bad? Think about it.
That's a mantra that'll get Bart's attention. Bart sees that the school will be completely ruined if another earthquake appears. So that's exactly the kind of thing that'll get Homer and Marge's attention. Lisa leaves her parents a note about Bart's plan, and unfortunately, their days of chilling Bart out are over.
We're going to have to be good parents to our son and work twice as hard on our marriage.
Looks like it's time for Homer and Marge to step up their game, being good parents and good spouses. Bart's got them working overtime on everything except the actual problem. Homer runs to the subway and stops Bart from ruining the school.
Mister, you are grounded.
And no TV!
Oh, you guys are the meanest parents ever.
Now that's something you don't see every day. But there's something else to be revealed. Lisa wasn't the one who left a note.
You wanted to get caught. Leave it to you to misspell a word you see first thing every morning.
I guess that spelling homework really ought to be done, Bart. But Lisa is no tattletale.
As far as Mom and Dad know, you're just a soulless little psycho.
Causing an earthquake in order to get your parents' attention is one thing, but meddling with an entire country is, well, advanced, to say the least. Bart is being sued in Australia, so he does anything in his power to avoid the booting punishment. Bart versus Australia starts with Bart and Lisa fighting over the question, which way does the water drain?
No way. Water doesn't obey your rules. It goes where it wants. Like me, babe.
Yeah, and it also bends only for you. Yeah, right. But when Bart can't prove he's right, he starts calling countries in the southern hemisphere to see if what Lisa's telling is true.
The fixtures, it all draining clockwise, Oh, she was right, stupid Lisa, science queen.
Of course, but by the time he's proved wrong, he lost interest in the matter. But while he was conducting his research, he made an Australian boy accept an international call that cost him $900. The Australian government sued Bart, and unless he wants to go to prison, he has to apologize in person.
What does that sign say? I thought they spoke English in this country.
It's not that hard to interpret. Bart should really be paying more attention in school. Lisa explains that the sign says you shouldn't bring in any foreign species because it can mess with the ecosystem. For some reason, Bart brought a frog with him, so he leaves her at the airport, like a frog will stay in one place. Of course, it runs off into the wild. Bart apologizes, but...
Whistle, you're free to go, Bart. Right after your additional punishment.
that wasn't disclosed in the agreement. What kind of punishment? Well, it's something called booting, and it's exactly what you think it is.
What kind of a sick country would kick someone with a giant boot?
Homer won't let this slide, so he grabs the giant boot and the Prime Minister, and he's ready to do some booting himself.
In America, we stopped using corporal punishment, and things have never been better. The streets are safe.
Yeah, he better rethink those words again, because with those gun laws, I'd beg to differ. Bart and Homer escape, and the whole Australian government is chasing them. They try to negotiate, but the Aussies won't budge. Marge tries to convince the U.S. Embassy not to accept this offer, but Bart cuts her off.
It's time for me to bend over and receive my destiny.
Bart accepting the consequences of his own actions? Not possible, he must be up to something. Bart bravely walks up to the proud men of Australia.
Thank you, Bart. I promise I won't make fun of you later for this.
Show them what American butts are made of, son.
Just as the minister was about to boot Bart, he moves and really shows him what American butts are made of.
And this is for the United States of America.
Mooning the Australian government is really brave on Bart's point. The Simpsons start running away, and a helicopter comes to get them.
I'm glad you're okay, honey, but I wish you'd chosen a more tasteful way to be patriotic.
Bart and tasteful don't mix well together. They get away by helicopter, and as they fly over Australia, they see frogs ruining their crops.
Well, that's what happens when you introduce foreign species into an ecosystem that can't handle them.
And here's what happens when Bart destroys Lisa's work. Bart ruins Lisa's school project, again, plus he gives Santa's little helper a few cigarettes. So 2 awful things he does in this episode. Duffless opens with Bart and Lisa getting their projects ready for the science fair. Lisa genetically grew a tomato that could possibly end world hunger. And Bart...
I thought I'd investigate the effects of cigarette smoking on dogs.
Bart, don't give the dogs cigarettes.
Bart aiming high with his science fair project because nothing says groundbreaking research like turning Santa's little helper into a chain smoker. So, besides giving his dog cigarettes, Bart does one more awful thing in this episode. When Principal Skinner bends over to tie his shoe in front of Bart, Bart can't help but throw Lisa's tomato on him. I wish I was keeping count of how many times Bart has ruined one of Lisa's projects. Lisa tells Marge that Bart wrecked her project and that she has very little time to make another. So, Marge gives her an idea to get a hamster and put him in a maze.
Help me! Help me!
When Lisa's chuckling like that, Bart better watch his back. Lisa starts conducting an experiment.
Is my brother dumber than a hamster?
Lisa's experiment isn't just scientific, it's personal. The results could change Bart's reputation forever among rodents. With the first experiment she conducts, the hamster has shown itself to be smarter than Bart.
Hamster 1, Bart 0.
Okay, but that could happen to anyone. The second experiment is something a bit more complex.
The food is connected to a mild electrical current. The hamster has learned a valuable lesson.
Lisa connects a cupcake to the electrical current, and Bart doesn't seem to get the point. He keeps trying to get the cupcake even though he's being shocked.
Hamster 2, Bart 0.
Looks like Bart's sweet tooth is no match for a hamster's common sense. Bart finds Lisa's experiment book, and he's not one for forgiving without revenge.
She'll pay for this. I'm gonna crush her like this pellet. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Maybe first go and check your intelligence, because that can't be right. When Lisa comes back, she sees that her report is missing and asks Bart what he's done with it.
I've hidden it. To find it, you'll need to decipher a series of clues, each more fiendish.
Got it!
Oh!
Bart, sometimes you just need to accept your defeat. Both Lisa and the hamster are more intelligent than you. At the science fair, Lisa sees that a crowd formed in front of one student's project. And it's Bart's, of course. The project, Can Hamsters Drive Planes?
But this project has no scientific merit.
I don't think I need to see the other exhibits. First prize!
Looks like Bart's hamster airline is flying high, while Lisa is stuck on the ground of scientific integrity. Poor Lisa. When will she learn that even though Bart's intelligence isn't sky high, his street smarts will always outsmart her book smarts? But there's no book in the world that could have prepared them for what's about to come next. Bart almost kills Homer with his April Fool's Day joke. So it's come to this. A Simpsons clip show opens with Homer pranking Bart.
Oh no, I can't see. I'm blind. Blind!
April Fools!
We see where Bart got his childishness from. Homer pulls a series of pranks on Bart, and Bart vows he's gonna get him back.
He must have a weakness.
Up here. My one weakness. My my Achilles heel, if you will.
Homer setting his own trap. There's no greater enemy than yourself. But how will Bart use beer as a prank? Homer answers this question for him also.
It's a good thing that beer wasn't shaken up anymore, or I'd have looked quite the fool. An April fool, as it were.
Oh, naive Homer. Have you learned nothing from living with Bart for 10 years? Never reveal anything. You never know if he might be listening. Bart gets one of Homer's beers and shakes it up real good. Now he's just gotta wait for Homer. Oh, Homer ends up in a hospital, and...
Mrs. Simpson, I'm afraid your husband is dead. April Fools. He's very much alive.
That's a sick joke. But he is concerned about Homer's ability to ever walk again. Another doctor begins to tell Marge about the various problems Homer has, from lesions in his brain to various fractures. Marge starts to remember all the times Homer has had injuries in the past, and boy oh boy, there were many.
Mrs. Simpson, can you think of anything to account for all this?
I have no idea.
Marge lying through her teeth while flashbacks of Homer's antics play like a greatest hits reel. Truly a masterclass in denial. The family starts to reminisce about Homer's past antics, like the time he got lost in the forest, or the time they got abducted by aliens. Moe and Barney come to visit Homer in the hospital, and Moe brought him some beer.
No! Beer bring pain! I can't stand to see him like this!
Poor Homer, afraid of the one thing he truly loved in this life. Bart better start thinking of ways he's going to make this up to him. Homer is feeling down because he doesn't want his life to look this way, being tied to a chair, not doing anything.
What if I wind up as some vegetable, watching TV on the couch?
Society's loss, I suppose.
I'm sorry, Homer, what work? Describing his life up to this point, I don't really see anything wrong with it. Society's really gonna miss all that important couch work, Homer. Marge reassures Homer that their marriage has been through hard times before, and they always pulled through. The doctors try to get Homer up and walking again, but it's just not working. Nothing will get him up. Well, almost nothing.
Chocolate.
Nothing better than a sugary bar to get a man up and running. Homer gets to the vending machine, but the bar gets stuck. He starts pushing and punching the machine, and it falls on him. Homer ends up in a coma after his fall.
I wish I'd gotten to know you better, Dad. But there were times when we really connected.
Nothing like a heartfelt eulogy for someone who's still technically alive. Classic Lisa, keeping it real even in the coma zone. Lisa recalls a time when she played her sax for Homer, so she wrote a new piece just for him.
I wrote this for you, Dad.
Beautiful. But could we stop acting like he's dead? Bart also comes to see Homer and apologizes for not being the best kid always. Could he possibly apologize for getting Homer into this situation?
Dad, it's all my fault. I shook up that can of beer. It was just an April Fool's joke.
Homer starts to wake up, his heart rate spiking.
You little...
Homie, you're all right.
We're a family again!
You will be unless Homer kills Bart. Bart fakes being kidnapped so he can get out of another lie. Pranks a rap starts with Bart asking Homer if he can go to a rap concert, and he says yes, if he pays for the ticket himself. So he does. But when it's time to go, Marge doesn't agree.
But Dad already said I could go.
Oh, did he?
Homer, you better start running while you still can. Marge says no and demands that Homer explain to Bart that a rap concert is not a place for a 10-year-old.
Son, your mother makes a very loud point.
Homer, the master of diplomacy, proving once again that parenting is just yelling with extra steps. Bart doesn't understand why he can't go, so Homer and Marge try to explain it to him in a way closer to him.
But your mom dropped a bomb, so I flipped my position.
Don't argue with Marge. I know what's best.
Good thing no one else was there to witness this. Bart thinks he's mature enough to go. After all, he paid for the ticket. He goes and has an amazing time, but when he comes home, he sees that Marge and Homer have noticed he's missing.
Well, time to face my punishment like a man. Or lie my way out of it like a kid.
Bart, always weighing his options. Honesty is overrated when you've got a good lie in your back pocket. Bart makes a ransom note saying he was kidnapped.
We have kidnapped your son. Follow instructions and Bart will not be harmed.
Follow instructions! He's doomed!
Bart making his parents believe he's kidnapped instead of facing punishment like a man may be one of the worst things he has ever done to his parents. The whole town is out and searching for Bart, so he goes to Milhouse to ask him to help while the whole thing blows over. I don't know how he imagines a kidnapping, but usually it doesn't just blow over. Milhouse gives him the address of a place he can hide in.
You can hide out in my room. My dad won't know because he's at work.
Milhouse's idea of a safe house is a room where his dad's absence is the only thing keeping Bart safe. That's some next level thinking right there. Chief Wiggum is on top of the case, wanting to prove that he's not a failure. So he sets up a call with the kidnappers.
I just want to tell him I love him one more time.
Mom, it's me. Don't cry. I'm okay.
No boy can resist Mom's tears, but yet he still manages to make her cry even more. Milhouse's dad shows up, so Bart must hang up. Chief Wiggum analyzes the tape and hears Bart making popcorn in the background. By his profound detective skills, he manages to figure out where Bart is.
He's not really a bad guy.
Now, there's no need for you to defend your captor, Bratty Hurst.
Bart's got a knack for sneaking away, but apparently it's not as sneaky as a background soundtrack of popcorn popping. They arrest Milhouse's dad, and Bart wants to make things right. He comes forward to Wiggum, but he won't tell anyone what happened because he got promoted once he solved the case. Plus, Milhouse's dad is enjoying prison. He's got a lot of admirers.
You kidnapped my heart. I love the way I've heard of you.
The true crime buffs have really gone crazy. Lisa finds the shirt Bart got while he was at the concert, and she tells Homer that Bart wasn't actually kidnapped.
I'll see that it gets to the proper authorities.
Dad! Why did you do that?
Homer explains that Hollywood producers have paid him a fortune, which he had already lost, for the rights to Bart's story. So, he has to destroy anything that proves that the story's not true. How can you not love America? Lisa feels trapped. How can she prove that Bart was lying the whole time? She goes to Bart's #1 enemy.
A chance to bring down Bart Simpson. Sign me up.
Nothing says sibling rivalry like teaming up with your worst enemy to prove your point. Chief Wiggum, Homer, and Bart must get to the rappers first and destroy any evidence of Bart ever being at the concert, but Lisa and Skinner get there first. They start arguing over what's the right thing to do.
The way I was raised by Mom, I learned the truth can't be swept under the rug.
Yeah, that's all cool, but I don't think anyone's listening. The rappers suggest a quick solution: a party.
Don't understand. After all the corruption and deceit we've witnessed, how can everyone just party?
Homer goes to explain that the world is a very complicated place, and it sure is. And everyone just seems to have forgotten how worried about Bart they were. I guess money does solve all problems. Lying about being kidnapped is so beyond devilish. The devil himself should learn from Bart. Good thing he has a track record of tricking the whole town into believing him. Bart ruins Christmas by accidentally burning all the presents and the tree itself. Miracle on Evergreen Terrace starts with the family getting ready for Christmas and Marge telling everyone there's no opening presents early.
For once, we're gonna celebrate Christmas as a family.
Bart comes up with a plan to drink lots of water so he can wake up before everyone else and open the presents. When he woke up, he went downstairs to open his presents. So predictable, Bart. He drives his fire truck into the tree and all the presents catch fire. He covers his tracks by burying the burnt tree and presents in the snow. The family wakes up and sees that everything is missing. Lisa asks Bart what was he doing outside.
I came down a little early and,
Come on, Bart, you ruined Christmas. What you gonna do now? He lies, of course, and says a burglar came and stole all their presents. The family is crushed, but once the story hit the news, everyone in Springfield came together and donated money to the family, and the donation was quite hefty, $15,000.
Bart, kids, let's go buy some happiness.
Homer's idea of buying happiness, a shopping spree, because nothing says life's going great like a full cart and an empty wallet. So, if you were wondering what would an average American family spend their money on, wonder no more.
Is this car $15,000?
Yeah, it is now.
Yep, a new car. They buy a car, and Bart's conscience is killing him. Homer drives too fast in the snow and starts losing control over the car. Everyone's yelling at him, telling him what to do, and he can't focus.
Shut up! One at a time! Lisa?
I guess not close enough. So Christmas is still ruined, and Bart feels awful for ruining it and lying about it. The guilt is too much for him, so Bart comes clean.
Lisa, no! Your hands are too weak!
Leave it to Homer to intervene with such wisdom. Just when things get too intense, he's there to save the day with his signature choking technique. Kent Brockman comes to do one more story on the burglary, and the truth comes out. So the entire town turns on them, and they want their money back.
I know you're used to getting hate mail, but I'm not.
The Simpsons truly can't catch a breath with all the hate they've been getting. If only there was a way to get that money back. They try to find ways to make up for the money, but they fail. But the townspeople aren't without a heart, so they find a way to forgive them.
What the hell's going on?
Well, we hated being mad at you, Homer, so we decided to make things right.
By looting their house? So they're left moneyless and furnitureless, all because Bart couldn't wait 2 more hours to open his presents. Marge tries to see the best thing in this situation.
But in a way, having nothing reminds us how lucky we really are. What? We still have each other.
Yeah, but you had each other and all your stuff. Bart and Homer start fighting over the remaining washcloth, and Marge tries to stop them.
It's just a washcloth. Besides, it's mine. Yoink.
Marge, always finding a way to make everyone happy. Bart, you better know how lucky you are with a mom like that. After ruining Christmas, there's nothing much worse left for Bart to do. Besides ruining Lisa's one chance at happiness, Lisa gets new friends. But Bart's extreme jealousy got the best of him. Summer of 4-2 starts on the last day of school, just before summer break hits. Flanders asks Homer if he would go to his cabin for 2 weeks and tend to it, because he's unable to do so himself. Homer accepts, but only Lisa has no one to bring with her. Marge comforts her by saying that the two of them are best friends and she shouldn't be sad.
We are best friends, Mom, but I'm a kid. I need friends my own age, too.
Poor Lisa. No friends, no boyfriends, just books and her microscope. The family packs their bags and heads for the beach house.
Bye-bye, Lisa Simpson.
Lisa leaving her identity behind. What is she up to? As they get to the house, Lisa tells Marge that she forgot to pack her suitcase, so they go shopping for new clothes. Lisa completely changes her style in hopes of finding some friends. She sees a couple of kids hanging out, and her charade begins.
Like, whatever. Whatever.
Lisa practicing her lingo like she's heading into the greatest battle of her life. She walks past the kids and says hi, and the kids say hi back. But then, one of them gives her a compliment.
A compliment. Scanning for sarcasm. It's clean. Go!
Lisa's internal sarcasm detector is working overtime, but for once, it's a false alarm. They get to talking and Lisa shows them a new skating place, which they find rad.
You like hanging out too?
Well, it beats doing stuff.
She's officially mastered the universal teen motto, why do stuff when you can just hang out? Truly rad progress. Bart and Milhouse see Lisa hanging around with the cool kids and they just can't believe it.
Lisa? With people? If they're impressed by her, I'm gonna Bart their world.
Seriously? Using your name as a verb? Too much, Bart. But after his little performance, they aren't as impressed as he'd hoped.
That kid, tries too hard.
Sure. The whole thing smacks of effort, man.
Bart's desperate attempt to win over the cool kids backfires spectacularly. Nothing says not cool like trying too hard, and these kids have a built-in radar for effort. Lisa starts hanging out with the cool kids, and Bart doesn't like it at all.
They're my friends, rightfully. She only got them by copying me.
Bart's jealousy hits peak pettiness, because nothing screams mature older sibling, like claiming dibs on people. Marge keeps talking Bart down, but he won't budge.
Let Lisa have it.
It's the principal. She's gotta learn.
No. Now park your keister, meester.
Marge putting her foot down like a pro, reminding Bart that sometimes being a sore loser isn't the flex he thinks it is. Lisa is getting really close with one of the girls, and she's truly starting to feel like she has a friend. But Bart's jealousy is only spiking.
I just know we're gonna be friends forever.
So, Lisa has a friend. We'll see about that.
Bart's jealousy skyrockets. Looks like Lisa's friendship is about to face some brotherly sabotage. Bart comes up with the ultimate way to embarrass Lisa, to show all of her friends her unsigned yearbook with all of her nerdy achievements.
Teacher's pet?
Lisa's sobbing. Great, Bart. Was it worth it? The next morning, as they were having breakfast, Bart tells Lisa that he knows his yearbook stunt was rough, but that it's important to be true to yourself.
I am the sister of a rotten, jealous, mean little sneak. You cost me my only friends.
Lisa's gone rogue. Bart better watch out, because there's nothing scarier than a girl who has nothing to lose. Now that she has no friends again, Lisa started contemplating about having friends in general.
Being myself didn't work. Being someone else didn't work. Maybe I just wasn't meant to have friends.
But her friends would beg to differ. They glued seashells all over their car because the one thing Lisa showed them was the beauty of ocean life.
You can't fake the kind of good person that you are.
See, something good came out of Bart's awful intention. As they were driving home, Bart tells Lisa he showed her friends the yearbook one more time.
Look inside.
Bart, there's some good still left in you, until Lisa inevitably beats it out of you. Making your sister almost lose the first friend she made in forever is very, very mean, but what he does next is truly diabolical. Bart tricks the entire town into thinking there's a boy stuck in a well, while it was him all along. Radio Bart starts with Homer picking out the perfect gift for Bart's birthday. It's a microphone that lets you speak through the radio. Cool, right? Well, Bart doesn't think so.
Bart! I would love to get a present like that.
Here you go. Enjoy.
He really is an ungrateful little bastard. Marge convinces Bart that the present ain't so bad, so Bart uses it to pull a prank on Homer.
Why, you little... Wait a minute. Does this mean you like my present?
That's so nice. If only the next present could be a no choking policy, that'd be great. Bart pulls pranks on everyone with his new present, but one day he drops his radio into a well and pretends he's a little boy who's stuck. The whole town gathers trying to save little Timmy.
Dear Lord, before we peel the foil back from your bounty, we ask you to watch over little Timmy O'Toole.
Poor Marge, if only she knew she was sending her prayers for nothing. The whole town is aching for a little boy stuck inside the well. But when Lisa was watching the latest news saying that Timmy's condition has turned for the worst since he started, growling, she realizes something.
Bart!
Lisa figures out that Bart is behind the whole thing, and she tells him that the town will want to seek revenge on him and that the police will catch him sooner or later. But Bart's confident in the police's ability to do nothing.
Maybe not, but I bet you're stupid enough to have left a property of Bart Simpson label on that radio.
Bart goes to the well to try and retrieve his radio, but he falls inside instead. Now he has to come clean.
It was just a prank I was playing on everybody.
Well, you sure fooled us, kid.
Bart should have chosen a better audience to reveal his prank, because there's no one more vengeful than two cops. Now the whole town knows the truth, and they aren't really willing to get Bart out.
You must think we're the worst parents in the world.
Yes, that's pretty much the feeling down at the station.
With the whole town against them, Marge and Homer get a brutal honesty check from the authorities. Parenting points, 0. Homer and Marge come to visit Bart, and Marge gives him a nice sweater she knit for him.
Mom, it's too big.
Don't worry, he'll grow into it.
Homer!
He just can't pick his moments, can he? Bart says he knows that he's done bad stuff in the past, but there's still a lot of stuff he didn't get a chance to do. This hits just the right spot with Homer.
I can't stand no more. I'm gonna get you out of there myself.
Why didn't I think of that?
Even Willie, the man who got pranked countless times by Bart, is willing to help. But the police ain't. What's that saying? 131. Soon the town joins in on the dig and they get to Bart.
Man, I was so scared.
That's what you get when you pull such dark-humored pranks. You become one of them. Bart may have learned his lesson as far as pranks go, but there are many other felonies to choose from, like stealing, for example. Bart is caught stealing, and Marge starts giving him the cold shoulder. Marge, Be Not Proud, opens with Bart asking his parents for a new video game.
Bonnie, Bone Stormer, go to hell!
Bart!
Young man, in this house we use a little word called please.
Yeah, because that's the problem, him not saying please. Bart thinks that if he just goes to the store and looks sad, someone will buy him the game. He runs into Nelson and Jimbo there, and they've got some new stuff on them.
Are you guys shoplifting?
4-finger discount, dude. Shoplifting is a victimless crime.
Classic Nelson and Jimbo logic, justifying their petty crimes with a questionable moral code. He starts having an inner moral dilemma if he should steal the game or not. Bart looks at the game longingly and decides he will take it.
I'm outside. I got away with it. I'm free.
Almost, Bart. Almost. The store security asks Bart to open his sweater, but he won't do it. So the guy takes him away and tells him that if he ever catches him in the store again, he'll be taken into a juvenile detention center. Great. Bart just won't go to that store again, right? Marge lets the family know that they'll be going out to have their picture taken.
So get ready, and before you know it, we'll be at the try and save.
Try and save.
You won't be getting out of this one easy, Bart. They get to the store, and even though Bart tried so hard not to be seen by the security guard, he got caught.
I'm afraid your son broke the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not steal.
That's crazy. Bart's not a shoplifter.
Oh, poor naive Marge. The detective shows everyone the tape of Bart stealing, and Marge is devastated.
Mom, I'm really sorry.
I know you are.
Is there anything I can do?
I don't know.
The silence between them speaks volumes. Lisa tells Bart that she knows what it's like when Marge is really upset. She explains that her heart is not going to be wiped clean like a countertop, and she uses another analogy.
It absorbs everything that touches it, like this bathroom rug.
If only emotional stains were as easy to scrub away as those on the countertop. Bart hears Marge tucking Lisa into bed, and he expects she'll do the same for him, but Marge is just simply too hurt.
Great. The Tuck-In Express is right on time.
Good night.
I bet he'd kill for the Tuck-In Express right about now. Marge thinks all of this is her fault because she's been mothering Bart for too long. Poor Marge, always taking the blame. The next morning, Marge is giving Bart a much colder treatment. She even let him put in his own marshmallow into his hot chocolate. Now that's what I call a cold shoulder.
Milhouse, do you ever worry that your mom might stop loving you?
I don't think Milhouse is the right person to be answering that question. Bart is so love-deprived that he asks Milhouse's mom if he could hang out with her for a bit.
Tell me I'm good.
Wow, Bart's desperation for love has grown into astronomical dimensions. As he was getting home, Bart heard Marge laughing, but it turns out the family was making a snow family without him.
I didn't think you'd mind. I figured you were getting a little too old for this.
Ah, the classic "you're too old for this" move. Marge's way of serving up a little tough love with a side of denial. Marge feels betrayed by his own mom, so he decides to show her how he can really be the black sheep of the family. Marge notices that he's hiding something under his jacket, and she starts chasing him around the house trying to get him to give it to her.
You can't hide from me in this house, Bart. I spend 23 hours a day here.
Get him, Ma.
There's nothing quite as sweet as parental teamwork. Bart shows Marge what he got, and she starts being emotional.
I can't believe you did this.
I wanted to surprise you for Christmas.
Marge starts crying, and she showers Bart with hugs and kisses.
I love you so much. My little bitty Barty.
Mom.
I don't think he minds it that much now. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Comment down below which of these 10 worst things Bart has ever done deserves the #1 spot.